This is case number 2012521 FH, People versus Stephen Rossett. Mr. Rossett is represented by Mr. Prysock, who's present in court. And this case is set for a final status conference today and set for trial on February 17th, 18th, and 19th. And Mr. Stade, was there a final offer that you were going to make in this case?
For the defendant to enter a guilty plea to count 1 and count 2 with an habitual offender third offense notice. People would dismiss the balance, which includes the double drug. People calculate the guidelines at 12 to 36 months on the minimum. People would cap at 24 months.
Was that the offer that was conveyed to you, Mr. Prysock?
It is, Your Honor.
And did you have a chance to discuss that with Mr. Rossett?
I did. I talked with him yesterday.
And does he wish to take advantage of that agreement?
He does not. Wishes the matter to be set for the jury trial. And I believe this was one that was adjourned on one of the lists. So I think I had like 3 in February, a couple in January. One. I thought this was one that was adjourned to be scheduled at a later date. I don't know that for sure.
I'm looking here. Nope, I've got on the 17th, I've got People versus Skip Tahone, which is yours, Miguel Davila, which is Mr. Greer's, Sarah Hamminger, which is Ms. Frisbee's, and Mr. Rossett. So all those are currently set for February 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Rossett, is it true that you've had an opportunity to discuss this plea offer with Mr. Prysock?
Yes, I have. But I'd like to speak with him further, if that's possible. I don't know.
Well, certainly you'll have plenty of time to talk to him before your trial. Is that what you're talking about, or you want to talk to him more about this plea offer?
The trial, correct, but he said that it was going to be adjourned and pushed back.
Stephen, I said I didn't know.
Okay.
But I wasn't sure. I said, remember I told you we would find out today.
Okay.
So, so the reason that we can't be more definitive than that is that because of the coronavirus, we are under certain orders from the Michigan Supreme Court. We have a multi-phase plan that you can move forward with, which relaxes restrictions, or you can move back, which increases restrictions. Right now, we are in phase 1, which is the most restricted phase. To move forward, we have to meet a bunch of criteria, being a downward trajectory, the number of cases, and the percentage of positive cases has to be going down. That's just to move the court forward. The other thing that we have to do to have jury trials is that we have to have fewer than 70 cases, positive cases per million. And they do that on a 7-day average. So ultimately, if we move forward in the phases, that could allow us to have trials. We won't know until very shortly whether we would be able to meet that 7-day criteria. So right now, we do have, as I read those, we have a number of trials that are set for February, but I cannot guarantee you that your trial or any of those trials will go forward because I don't know if we'll meet the criteria set forth by the Supreme Court. You understand that?
Yeah, I do understand that, but there was some things that I had talked to my lawyer about, and I asked him a few things that if we could do to for me to better prepare for my trial. And if it does happen between now and then, at that time, I'm gonna need stuff, information and time to better prepare myself for my case.
All right, well, there's, Mr. Prysock is aware of the current trial date. Certainly, there's enough time between now and then to get him prepared and to get you prepared. So what I want to do for today's purposes, Mr. Rossick, is make sure that, that you want to reject this offer, because after today, the court would not take any pleas to reduce charges or any sentencing agreements. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And, I don't know anything about the facts of your case, but I'm just telling you, just in general terms, that there are some pretty big benefits to you from this plea agreement. For instance, if you enter a plea to count 1, the possession of methamphetamine, they're dismissing the double drug. What that means is that it leaves the maximum penalty at 10 years, and you would not risk the possibility of being convicted at trial and having the court exercise my discretion to increase the maximum penalty to 20 years. And by dismissing that, you're also avoiding the risk of the court doubling your advisory guidelines. So your advisory guidelines, if you go to trial, could be 24 months on the minimum to 72 months. Do you understand how the double drug enhancement could increase your maximum penalty and could increase your advisory guidelines? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then as to the operating while intoxicated third offense, normally that's a felony which carries up to 5 years in prison, but they've put in the habitual offender fourth notice, which means that if you go to trial and you are convicted, again, the court would have the discretion of sending you as a habitual offender fourth, which could increase the maximum penalty from 5 years up to life. Whereas this plea agreement would call for the maximum penalty to be set at 10 years. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And the other thing is that they would put a cap of any upfront jail time at 24 months, which, again, if you go to trial and you're convicted, your advisory guidelines could be significantly higher than that, maybe even up to 72 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, so it sounds like you do understand that agreement. And with that further explanation, do you wish to take advantage of the plea agreement, or do you still want to continue on to trial?
I'd like to continue on to trial.
All right. So, and I'll just state it one more time. After today, no plea agreements. Your chances, your options are plead guilty unconditionally as charged, or go to trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Very well. That's all for today.
I'll be over, Stephen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we will.
He's being Zoom.
Did he ever take a drug test,
Yeah.
Leon? No, we're still live.
Where's mine?
phone, they're muted. I don't know who it is.
Sometimes, to my defense, I don't put that in there as much as I used to. Sometimes it's like-
I don't have in my notes where that I ordered him to take a drug test. And last time he was here, it was November